A woman who goes by Wunderlust Cass online usually posts short, harmless clips from her everyday life. Her content has never focused on anything paranormal. That is, until one night when her home security camera recorded something she couldn't explain. After nightfall, the camera captures what looks like a figure moving through her backyard. A dark, shadowy shape slips past the shed, but there's something strange about it. The figure doesn't appear solid, almost as if it's gliding rather than walking. It looks less like a person and more like a moving shadow. Whether this was something paranormal or a real intruder, the idea of anything being in your yard in the dead of night is unsettling. At around 9:35 at night, the camera begins recording inside a quiet house. At first, the only sound that can be heard is a faint crying noise coming from somewhere nearby, while a man calmly narrates what he's hearing. To avoid any confusion, he slowly turns the camera toward the television, clearly showing that the sound isn't coming from a movie or a video playing in the background. But what happens next is far more concerning. Take a look.
Actividad paranormal en mi casa.
Me acuerdo de cada expresión en su cara. Bueno, me encuentro viendo una película, ya casi van a ser las 10 de la noche. Y escuché cosas allá en la cocina y mire, están todos estos cajones de arriba abiertos y pues pensé que no iba a suceder nada hoy, pero peleamos esa semana, ¿lo olvidaste? Ustedes tuvieron un épico verano. Y eso jamás lo olvidaré. Tía, algo allá en la cocina. Sí. Yo no lo olvidaré y solo era una espectadora celosa. No puede ser. Es mi primer día de vuelta, ¿no? Y ya estoy hecha un bodrio. Es cierto. Es la verdad. Esos cajones se están moviendo solos. Escuché lo que pasó, Tessa. Lo lamento mucho. Si fueras mi hija, te diría que lo usaras.
He turns the camera back toward the doorway leading into the kitchen, explaining that strange and unexplained activity has been happening in his home for weeks. As he slowly steps closer, one of the kitchen cabinet doors suddenly slams shut on its own with a loud bang. The man visibly flinches, but he doesn't run. He moves further into the kitchen, and almost immediately another cabinet snaps closed right in front of him. Then, as if reacting to his movement, a third cabinet door slams shut as he gets closer. Trying to remain calm, he opens each cabinet one by one, showing that they're completely empty. There are no loose hinges, no pets nearby, and no drafts that could explain what just happened. Whatever caused the cabinets to move doesn't seem to need any further proof. It's already made itself known. A man named Joseph says that for several days he kept hearing strange noises coming from his bathroom. At first, he tried to ignore them, assuming it was just plumbing or the building settling. But when the sounds kept happening at night, he decided to set up a camera facing the bathroom door to see if he could catch anything unusual on film. Joseph explains that he left the camera recording for a few hours while he relaxed in bed, hoping the noises would happen again. Take a look.
So I've been hearing some strange noises coming from this bathroom. And so I'm going to set up this camera to record and see if we catch anything. I've never caught anything on camera before, so I'm hoping that this might be the first time, but kind of sounds like scratches.
For nearly an hour, nothing happens. The apartment remains completely still, with only the faint reflection of hallway lights visible in the bathroom mirror. Then, without warning, something appears. As Joseph walks past the hallway after getting a drink, a dark shape briefly enters the frame. On the right side of the mirror, a shadow shaped unmistakably like a human figure seems to peek into the bathroom. It pauses for just a moment, then quickly pulls back out of view. Joseph wasn't in the bathroom. No one else was in the apartment, and the camera angle makes it difficult to explain this as a reflection or trick of the light. Something approached the doorway, looked inside, and then retreated. In a follow-up clip, Joseph says viewers kept asking him to record again, so he decides to film once more to show what's been happening.
All right, guys, so you wanted an update. So here is the shower. That's where the cat goes to the bathroom, so nobody's in there. Nobody's in the bathroom. Nothing's behind the door. All right, we're turning the light off because it doesn't like the light. Here's my fiance.
I don't want to be on camera.
Okay.
I don't think we should be engaging it.
It's fine. It hasn't done anything. It's not really being too, like, creepy or anything. It just does. So, we've been playing peekaboo. Peekaboo!
This time, Joseph starts in the bathroom, slowly panning the camera around the small space. He opens the shower, checks behind the door, and shows that there's nowhere for anyone to hide. Before leaving, he switches off the light, explaining that the activity never seems to happen when the room is bright. He then sits on a small couch across from the hallway, keeping the camera aimed at the doorway. Trying to sound calm, he jokingly says, "Peekaboo," toward the dark corridor. Almost immediately, something steps into view. A tall, solid shadow, shaped like a person, moves into the doorway, completely black, as if absorbing the light around it. Joseph jolts backward in his seat as the figure vanishes just as quickly as it appeared. There are no footsteps, no sound, nothing to explain where it went.
Okay, guys. I think I f***ed up a little bit. Do you hear that? What the f*** is that? Charlie, cat's right here. She doesn't seem to be worried about it.
In the next part of the series, Joseph admits that provoking whatever this is might have been a mistake. He sounds noticeably more nervous now, and the camera shakes slightly as he speaks. He says that since the shadow appeared, the activity in his apartment has become worse, and he hasn't been able to sleep. As he's talking, a slow creaking sound begins to echo from inside the bathroom. It sounds like cabinet doors being gently pulled or pushed. The noise happens in short bursts, then stops, then starts again. To show that nothing else could be causing it, Joseph pans the camera down to his cat sitting beside him on the bed, wide awake and staring toward the hallway. He points out that the cat hasn't left his side and refuses to go anywhere near the bathroom. After a few moments, the sound stops completely, leaving the apartment silent once again.
All right. I appreciate all the well wishes. I haven't been getting great sleep lately. I don't know if it's because of this, but I'm going to take your advice. It's been slamming the doors again this morning. I'm just going to tell it to get the out of here. Okay? All right, this is it. You are not welcome here. You need to leave. We are done with your bullshit. We are not going to take it anymore, okay? You need to get the out. No, this is bullshit.
In the final clip, Joseph says he's had enough. The sleepless nights, the shadow figures, and the noises have pushed him to his limit. This time, he stands directly in the bathroom doorway, holding the camera out in front of him. His voice shakes slightly as he tells whatever is there that it needs to leave and is no longer welcome in his home. Before he can finish speaking, a deep, guttural growl erupts from inside the dark bathroom. At the same moment, the door slams shut with incredible force right in front of him. Joseph stumbles back, then cautiously reaches forward and opens the door again. The bathroom is completely empty. Nothing is moving. Nothing is making noise. Joseph later says that he and his cat no longer enter the bathroom at all. And after this final encounter, they're seriously considering moving out. So what do you think was watching him from that doorway? And whatever it was, is it really gone? Smith is the kind of guy who always looks for a logical explanation first. Drafts, old wiring, loose pipes. If something feels off, he assumes there's a reason, and he'll find it. But when the strange activity started in his house, even Smith started to hesitate. And it didn't begin with flickering lights or doors slamming shut. It started with knocking, coming from the basement, not once or twice, but at odd hours, late at night, sometimes early in the morning. So Smith did what he always does. He investigated. Pipes, nothing. Rodents, no signs. Structural issues, everything checked out. And then one morning, while he's in the living room, this happens. This isn't the first time it's happened either. Books don't just fall. They don't slide. They launch outward, like something shoved them from the inside. And if you've ever had a shelf collapse, you already know the difference. Gravity pulls things down. This moves things away. Smith says that's the moment it stopped feeling random, because now it feels like a response. But the next part is worse, because later that night, his home camera captures something in the kitchen. A dark shape moves through the room. Not a flash, not a reflection. It has direction, like it's walking through a place it already knows. And that's what people can't stop arguing about. Because if it were just one thing, knocking, or books, or a shadow, maybe you could explain it. But together, it starts to feel like a pattern. Some viewers think it's attached to the house. Maybe the basement is where it stays. Others think Smith's constant checking and testing is making it worse. Like, it doesn't like at liking it's being challenged. But if this is just residual activity, why does it seem to react when he gets close? And if it's intelligent, then the real question is, why is it choosing to show itself now? As always, you decide. An experienced paranormal team is exploring an old jail in West Virginia, a place known for its violent history and a reputation for extreme activity. The team leader explains that one particular cell block has always been the most active, even among seasoned investigators. As he walks down the narrow corridor, the air feels heavy and oppressive. He pauses and admits that he has the unsettling feeling that something is standing directly behind him. That uneasy sensation is what makes him pull out his camera and begin recording.
This video is interesting. I was doing a walk in the West Virginia penitentiary. It's part of like a big joint paranormal investigation. I originally just meant to show you guys this because it was just interesting, and I had an incident there where I kept feeling like something was behind me. After reviewing the video a few times, it looks like I caught something. So I'm going to just really condense this, just show you guys what I caught. And it looks like it's some kind of a shadow figure. Sorry, this camera's got a really bad autofocus. It looked like there was a person there. Right there in front of me, it looked like there was a person. So let me know what you think about that. Was it just the camera not focusing on the distal part of the cell? Or did you think it was something legitimate? I want to put this out there for people to comment on and get opinions. Thanks.
He slowly moves from cell to cell, shining his flashlight across the walls and pointing out the disturbing drawings and messages carved into the concrete. Every surface is covered in markings, each one more unsettling than the last. At the time, nothing seems out of the ordinary. He continues the investigation and leaves the area without incident. But later, While reviewing the footage, something disturbing becomes impossible to ignore. As the camera turns back toward the corridor, a dark, human-shaped silhouette can be seen standing directly behind him. It doesn't move, it doesn't make a sound, and then it simply vanishes. There's no audio, no footsteps, no explanation. The jail was completely empty, and there was nowhere anyone could have gone without being seen. That single moment changed everything, turning what was supposed to be a routine investigation into one of the most chilling pieces of evidence the team has ever captured. But what do you think? Was it just a shadow at the perfect angle, or something that didn't want to be seen? Kyle was exploring an abandoned house and decided to do a quick walkthrough, filming the inside to show his partner later. He expected the usual things explorers often find in places like this: old furniture, leftover belongings, small signs that someone once lived there. But very quickly, it becomes clear that this house has something else going on. Take a look. If you watch closely, there are several strange details that appear within the first few seconds of the video. The first thing viewers notice is a black cat inside the abandoned house. That alone is unusual, since animals rarely remain inside unstable, empty buildings for long periods of time. In many cultures, black cats have long been associated with superstition. Some folklore describes them as familiars, believed to be connected to something unseen. Others viewed them as omens, particularly around sickness or death. Because of these beliefs, many people associate black cats with places said to be spiritually active. But the cat isn't the only strange detail. Moments later, a nearby door begins shaking violently, despite no one else being inside the house. There's no visible draft, no movement nearby, nothing that clearly explains what's happening. At the same time, faint orb-like shapes drift through the frame, and an odd sound can be heard in the background. What makes this even more unsettling is that Kyle didn't notice most of this while filming. It was only after viewers pointed it out that the full picture became clear. Each detail on its own might be very easy to dismiss, but together, the cat, the moving door, the orbs, and the sound create a very different feeling, one that suggests Kyle may not have been alone. And according to viewers, this wasn't the last strange thing connected to him.
Just got home from work. This needs to stop. I need help, please. Going to explore it later.
Later, Kyle's partner shared footage from inside their home. When she arrived, the door was rattling violently, as if something was trying to get out. But the moment she entered the room, everything stopped. No one was there, and a doll that had been in the room earlier was suddenly gone. No one entered. No one touched it. It simply wasn't there anymore. Some viewers believe whatever Kyle encountered at the abandoned house may have followed him home. Not attached to him directly, but drawn to familiar objects, especially dolls, which many believe can act as focal points for activity. Others think whatever is happening was already in the house, And the exploration may have disturbed it. Kyle and his partners say they don't feel threatened. They describe the activity as more annoying than dangerous. Objects moving, small disturbances, things going missing and later reappearing. But that's exactly what worries many viewers, because paranormal activity rarely stays the same forever. What begins as harmless can sometimes escalate, especially when it's being noticed, recorded, or acknowledged. So is this something quietly coexisting with them, or is it still testing boundaries? As always, I'll leave that up to you to decide.